Hi, my name is Jen, and I'm the co-owner of the Formidable Genealogist research company, here today with a dose of Formidable Genealogy. Today, I'm going to discuss the genealogy resources that you can find on Google Books. You can find county histories that mention notable citizens. You can find member rolls and church histories. You can find lineage books about specific ancestors of yours. A lot of it's even available for free in its entirety on there. And some is available in snippet view that allows you to search within the book. Let me share my screen. Today, I'll start by showing you some examples of what you might be able to find about your family on Google Books. As you're first starting out to use this tool, I recommend starting with one of your more prominent family members to get a feel for sifting through the results. My most famous relative was James MacFarlane, who was one of the leaders of the Whiskey Rebellion or Whiskey Insurrection of 1794 and was killed in a skirmish while leading his militia. I search on his name and the word whiskey, and pages upon pages of books come up in my results. Some are recent and offer no previews, and some are available in their entirety. There's a menu at the top to help you sort your results for type, visibility, and time period. While I'm interested in reading some modern takes on the Whiskey Rebellion and James's involvement, those books are only available in preview form, and I can purchase those or find them in a library at a later point. Let's take a look at older books about him. I'm able to sort on the 19th century and find several books in the public domain that mention him and the Whiskey Insurrection. One jumps out at me as being from the Pennsylvania Archives and published in 1890, so I click on that one. It takes you directly to the page where the person is mentioned. You can also search within the fully indexed book for all mentions of individuals, and you can download the full PDF of the book or read it for free online. There is an amazing amount of content about James in books that are all available entirely for free in the public domain. Things like this add so much context to your family tree. Another type of book that you will frequently find and may help your research are the county history books full of biographies of notable citizens. These were very popular in the late 19th century and early 20th century. If your family was not well off, they would likely not be included in these books, as citizens had to pay to be included in them. Individuals would write their own information to be included in there, so it's usually rather dependable genealogical information directly from the source. I frequently search on a last name if it's not too common, and the name of the county to see if any results pop up for a certain family surname group. I searched on Washington County, Iowa, and my MacFarlane surname again. The 1909 version of the History of Washington County, Iowa, contains 2 write-ups about my family, and the 681-page book is available for free download. My great-grandfather's brother and his brother-in-law have both submitted their own bios to be printed in the book. These write-ups contain firsthand knowledge of things that I would not be able to find in other resources. I did not know in which year my second great-grandparents moved to Iowa from the Ohio-Pennsylvania border area, and this write-up by William Kerr says it was 1868. I knew they moved from their farm to town at some point, and this shows it was prior to 1909. Then William goes on to list all of his wife's siblings and their current locations. My great-grandfather's brother, Robert Francis MacFarlane, or Frank, also has massive amounts of information in his write-up about the family. He lists the townships where his parents farmed and that they retired in 1906. These write-ups can often be the only record of a woman's maiden name, given the scarcity of many marriage records in the 1800s. The people writing these bios were often born in the 1860s and came west with their parents when they were very young. These write-ups by the children of these pioneers can help you find origins further east to expand your research. The genealogy details they contain can be very accurate. I've found few errors in the records I've found. I've even found some where the subject lists his lineage back several generations and even his wife's. There are many school and university publications on Google Books, and many contain rosters of students. A simple search of my second great-grandmother, Abby Shanklin's name, reveals that she attended University of Wisconsin in 1871. A 1-second search revealed this bit of her life that I had no idea existed. My third great-grandfather was Reverend James Shanklin, and he was a Presbyterian minister. A quick search on only his name reveals that the first 10 entries without any search refinement are about him. If you have any ministers in your family tree, this is an excellent way to track their movement and when and where they were ordained. Another excellent source you can find on here are church histories and directories. Many published minutes from churches can show you when your family became members or took their leave to move elsewhere by listing their petition to join or withdraw. This principal acts of the General Assembly of Scotland shows the ruling elders of various congregations in 1753. This book is 371 pages long and brimming with names. There are also history books of many churches available for free in their entirety. This example is a 1909 history of 50 years of St. John's Church in Detroit, Michigan. It lists a lot of information about the congregation, such as how a marble table in the sanctuary is inscribed. In memory of Benjamin Godfrey Stimpson, second junior warden of St. John's Church, born March 19, 1816, died December 13, 1871, erected by his widow, Cornelia Stimpson, and how Miss Molly Richmond has been the secretary of the Church Periodical Club since its inception in 1901. There are also a few old newspapers and publications available that could list your family members in news bites. For the most part, these will just be compilations of very old newspapers, like these examples of the Boston Gazette from 1737 and the London Magazine from 1733. Both contain mentions of local news and citizens. Finding something like this for an area that your family is from could yield loads of information from a time of few vital records. I often use Google Books to access old city directories. I frequently use these to try to prove relationships between suspected family members in my tree. If I find these people living in the same home or next door to each other, it helps confirm my theories. This is also a great way to find an address for someone in your family tree and see if the home or apartment still stands. A moment's search pulled up a Chicago directory from 1845, Springfield, Illinois from 1907, and Minneapolis from 1874. If someone in your family owned a business, these are also a great resource for finding their advertisements and the years they were in operation. So many directories have a yearly publishing online as well. I often use this to help me narrow down when someone died or moved away, to fill in the gaps between census enumerations. I've even found transcriptions of letters written by my fourth great-grandfather's brother, Andrew MacFarlane, to Governor William Penn in 1774 in published works by the Pennsylvania Archives. Andrew was a justice of the peace in a very young Pittsburgh and found himself imprisoned and accused of treason. He did go on to fight with General Washington in the Revolutionary War, so these accusations were not wrong. You may also find information about your family in general county history books, if they were early settlers. This 1872 Atlas of Lawrence County, Pennsylvania, mentions a lot of my MacFarlane family. It mentions that the sword of James MacFarlane of Whiskey Rebellion fame is still in the possession of family. I was able to use that information to trace it forward to 1970, but lost its trail at that point. Google Books can also be a great resource for finding genealogy books about your family. Even if the book is not in the public domain and available here for free, searching your family's names may steer you toward a copy that you could find on eBay or Abe Books to add to your collection. One of the first ones I ever found about my family is called Hugh Scott, an immigrant of 1670 and his descendants by John Scott of Nevada, Iowa. I found it because my great-grandma Lulu White was mentioned in its 1896 printing and therefore showed up in my search results. Since then, it has been reprinted and is no longer available for free in PDF form on Google Books. If you find one of these books online, download it right away in case it should disappear. I also found an original copy for sale on eBay and now own the 581-page book in print. I've found very few errors in the information provided on my lineage in the book, tracing me back to my 8th great-grandfather, Hugh Scott. Google Books is such a fast and amazing research tool. I hope you start searching random family names and find some hidden gems to add some intrigue to your family tree. The Formidable Genealogist is a small family history research company consisting of 2 passionate and tenacious genealogists in the Midwest. In addition to research, we can also help people find their biological family through DNA, Scan and digitally repair photos, slides, negatives, and documents, and create personalized family tree artwork based off of 30 or more templates on our website. Happy searching!